Hey, Mr. Clash here with a video talking about anti-witch slap bases, and in this case an anti-witch slap base that I 3-starred with witch slap. Now, you've heard me talking about before that the main thing to be concerned about is the expos and the dangers of these air defenses to your witches healers. If you can deal with those, fantastic. Now this base in particular, I failed on this base 8 times before I got it, and I failed for a couple of reasons. But I had tried coming in this way. I had with witches funneling like that. I had tried witches funneling here and coming in that way. I tried every which way. I tried coming in this way with witches funneling on those sides. That was no good. I tried with a jump spell here with witches funneling there. That was no good. I tried witches funneling here and then jumping in this way. That was no good. Now the thing that was stopping me a lot of the time was obviously I was not being able to get to the second expo. And in my mind I just kept focusing on this side of the base in my head. And what was stopping me, if I came in from here, my bowlers and everything just sort of came to a grinding halt right around here. And what was happening was there was a golem in this clan castle, and everything's beating on the golem. But the Barb King, the Archer, the Teslas are popping. They're all firing on my troops. And when the Golem explodes, does damage to my troops. And it was just not pretty. And I try to first jump here, second jump there, trying to get to that second expo. Because even if my witches get around here, they'll path all around this stuff. And then by the time they come to here, the air defense takes out their healers, so that was no good. So I actually just sat down and thought about this base, and I thought I really need to. What gets me to 2 expos is a jump here and a jump here, so that way my troops can go in, rage that way, and that way a lot of this stuff should be taken out. So that means my witches should have a pretty easy time to path around from there. So that's after I actually thought about it some more. But then I also decided not to try and send everything in, because sending everything in only saw me leave with witches going around the outside. So I'm going to show you this base when we get to it. I want to show you a couple of other attacks first, and then I'm going to show you this base 2 attacks, because there's some very interesting things to talk about with this base. So I just wanted to show you that first, and then we'll talk more as we look at the other attacks. Okay, so as this funnel begins to happen, now the goal was to try and get both expos, and what you're going to see here is the first expo is not going to be really much of an issue to get to. It'll be gotten to pretty easily because I'm coming in on that side of the base, just straight over the top. This isn't the base I talked about. There'll be 4 attacks here. They're all running at a little bit of speed, just to show you that the power of the witch slap here. So you see where I've just put that second jump down. So the bowlers have gone in, and just watch how long it takes them to get past this golem here. With the heal spell, the rage spell, they're still there. They're still there. They're still there. And, well, look at that. By the time they're said and done, my Valks are gone, and I've got 2 bowlers left. Now, the Rage King takes out that expo, which is pretty good. And he'll go through and take out the air defense with the aid of the Queen as well. Now, that was the difficulty that I was facing with the other base, that you could see how even with the rage and the heal, once the golem was down, there was nothing left of my kill squad. Now you just notice that top left air defense took out the healers on my witches, and that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about. The danger of having an air defense up that takes you. This is why you need to be concerned about these things. But if you have a look at that, the healed witches on the right hand side, just overpowering the whole rest of the thing. My queen's got very minimal health, and the health of the queen is another reason why I recommend to only do this attack with really high heroes. Otherwise she would have been dead long ago if it was just like a level 20 queen. Now this base, again, you can see that I've got 1 expo on the right hand side and 1 on the left, so the expos are really quite spread far apart, and that's going to be an issue trying to deal with them both with the kill squad. However, the one on the left is near a wall, and you're going to see something very interesting about how that expo tries to take out healed witches when they finally get around there. So I have swapped my 2 witches going in with the bowlers to have 3 Valkyries instead. Now on the right hand side, I put the heal down on the right hand side because I kind of wanted that stuff to go down a little bit more. My heroes with the bowlers were on the top, and I needed that jump so I could get into the core with at least some bowlers and the king and the queen to try and take out the Teslas. Otherwise they would have just pathed around. And so you can see I've got a witch on the inside, and she's trying to take out the sweeper while her skeletons are running towards the cannon, and the cannon is receiving the secondary bounce from the bowler on the inside, which is really interesting. Now while that was going on, I did put a giant down on the left to try and distract the X-Bow, and while all that was going on, if you watched it all again and you kept your eye on my queen, I just let her die without activating her ability at all, because I was actually looking at the witches at the bottom. And then I looked up and went, oh, my queen's dead. So anyway, no benefit from the queen's ability. Now have a look here at the X-Bow trying to deal with these witches with the healer on it. It is struggling. It's not getting anywhere. And as soon as that wall breaks through and all those skeletons can run forward, it's game over. Bang, and then game over for that one too. Game over. So that's the power of the witch slap. Now, here's the base that was causing me trouble, and here's the solution that I came up with for this base. Now, I had been slightly deploying my witches, like 2 or 3, a slight pause to let them spawn, and then my next 2 or 3. But in this case, I figured I wanted all the skellies out at the same time. Now, you notice that I dropped the Archer Queen on the right-hand side with the witches. Now, she wasn't going to go in. By the time everything paths in, now you've seen that I've raged, I've poisoned. They're going to go over to the right-hand side, take out that X-Bow over. The king's going to take out the X-Bow with the bowlers. That air defense will go down on the right-hand side. So those witches up the top, even though there's no healers on them, they're fine. Now have a look at the bottom. I've got some witches and the queen with a couple of healers, and all those weapons, nothing can get through to them. Nothing can destroy them. There's too many skellies coming in from those other witches in the core, taking out the air defense. They'll take out those Teslas and the builder's hut. So just those witches weren't even healed, and they managed to take out those 2 Teslas in the builder's hut. So the queen with the healers and the witches is very powerful. The skeletons are running forward, distracting the weapons, and the queen and the witches are just dealing the damage to everything. And the damage is happening a lot quicker than it otherwise would have. I've got I dropped the wizard on the right hand side and everyone into the core, and game over for the base. And that one had the golem in it. Now this one doesn't have a golem in it. He changed the spell, the clan castle, in between me doing friendly challenges on it. And let's just see if I could do the same attack twice. 3-star the base twice in a row. If I can 3-star it twice in a row, then I've pretty well beaten that base, and it's not just a fluke. Now my rage isn't really the greatest. I just rushed it a little bit on this one. The heal's not the greatest, but you will see how it still takes things down, and that is the bowlers and have taken down the witches at the top, and now my healed witches and queen at the bottom. And now the healer is on the bowler at the top, and you watch how all that stuff in the middle cannot cope with the witches and my queen at the bottom. They're going to break through the wall. Now have a look at the top as well. You'll see all those witches dealing with that wizard tower by themselves. They're not healed. So they're all shooting at the wizard tower. The wizard's shooting them, slowly taking their health, and bam, all of them died except one, just as they got the wizard tower down. And you look at all of the skeletons in the middle with my witches, and my queen is just overpowering just everything in this base. The queen backed up with witches is just so overpowering. The whole attack is so overpowering, actually, and I haven't come across a base yet that can't be taken out. Obviously, it took me 8 goes or 9 goes to take that base out. And that was only because of all the juxtaposition. I wasn't giving it enough thought to come into the base, and the golem as the clan castle was really screwing me up. Okay, so having said that, this is how powerful the attack is. I did a lot more attacks on other bases with other designs, with Expo Islands and all sorts of things like that, with double air defenses in a corner and all that. Every base is falling to this attack. It might not happen first time, and often you might fail first time if you just misplace a spell, deploy a spell in the wrong way, or something like that. But then when you have a look at your attack and it failed, and you just shake your head and you think, yeah, of course, everything's clear in hindsight. And then you learn from that and you progress on. But so at the moment, investigating anti-witch slap bases haven't been able to find one. So that's pretty interesting. And that's without even trying to modify the attack, you know, without trying to change the spell combination, without bringing in wall breakers. I haven't tried bringing in wall breakers or anything like that. And it's still taking out bases left, right, and center. So one thing I wanted to ask was elves. You know, they live in trees and they shoot arrows, elves. And the elves have a language, and the language is used with letters, just like the English language has letters, and French has letters, and German has, like, all these languages that have letters. Well, the group of letters, what do the elves call the group of letters that make up their language? They call it the alphabet. Oh God, that's bad. Anyway, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you have an anti-witch slap base that you think can't be beaten, let me know. I might want to come and have a bit of a try, see if I can beat it or not. Of course, you might also want to keep it secret, I don't know. But let me know anyway. Let me know what you thought of these attacks or any of these bases in terms of witch slap. I know, let me know what you thought. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.